Hello and welcome back to my Dwarves walkthrough. So last time we actually made it through past the river. We met up with two dwarves, two twin dwarves, and they want to take us south. But we're first going to go to Black Saddle. And we also beat up a whole bunch of orcs after I made a few mistakes. Now somebody mentioned in the comments that it's possible that friendly fire takes place, so that I might have been killing myself, which is very possible because I leaped onto my heroes and that might be causing them damage. So I might have to watch that. I might have to watch and make sure that I'm not suffering from friendly fire, or at least not intentionally injuring my own heroes. But we have two companions and we're going to continue on our way to Black Saddle. So let's head out. Loot metal. Can we see King's Cavalry? Orc Horde. Orc Horde. Steepleton. Do we know what this is? Orc Horde. Oh, so we're heading towards an Orc Horde. Okay, yeah, so we're healing. So, can I pull up my... Here we go. So he's healed now. We've gone through some of the provisions. Poor Boindale is still really wounded. So we don't want to meet up with anybody right away. So we may want to take a longer route. Although maybe we can go here.
You arrive at a crossroads with a tavern on the corner. A warm light is emanating from its window, lighting up the road around it. A stone sculpture of a sheep stands in front of the door, and above it a sign, swaying gently in the breeze, reads, "The Stone Sheep."
Ooh. Stay where you are and observe the surroundings.
You observe the surroundings, but the road is empty, and no one leaves the tavern. You notice a broken window on the first floor, which has been boarded up with planks. Something wet drips onto your nose, and you look up to the cloudy sky with a bad-tempered expression.
Huh. Why are we standing here and just getting wet from the outside?
Let's enter the tavern.
You enter the tavern with a determined stride, and are greeted by a thick wall of pipe smoke. The dozen or so drinkers at the tables turn towards you, then give each other astonished and slightly worried looks.
Gain an overview of the other guests.
In the tavern, there are half a dozen people sitting at the tables, and just as many at the bar, clearly farmers and labourers from the surrounding villages. Boindale pays no attention to the other guests and trudges over to a table. Together with his brother, you follow him and sit down. The landlord comes out from behind the bar.
What can I get you?
You hear surly muttering from one of the tables.
What are groundlings doing showing their faces here, now of all times?
To the neighboring table. Why is it particularly strange that we're here now? I wouldn't mind some ale for me and my two friends. About a round on me. Did two travelers pass this way? One was a famulus, the other a mercenary. Room for the night. About a round on me.
Stand up and turn to the room.
This round's on me.
The faces of the guests and the landlord brighten up immediately. The landlord gets to work pulling everyone a beer and handing out the tankards. Some of the guests say cheers to you as they get their drinks.
To the neighboring table.
You turn to the guest who'd muttered something about groundlings.
And why is it so strange that we're here?
The man glances up briefly and then stares drunkenly at his tankard and mutters with a slur,
Don't play the innocent. The orcs are terrorizing our lands. And whose fault is it? You let them in.
I was not at the Stone Gateway, and I don't know what happened. But you can be sure of one thing. Dwarves would never cooperate with orcs. We kill them no sooner than we say them, or my name isn't Boindale Doubleblade.
The drunkard and his neighbour are given a start. They mumble an apology, and turn their attention to the beer in front of them.
Did two travellers pass this way? One was a famulus, the other a mercenary.
The landlord shakes his head indifferently and mumbles something incoherently. One of the guests is about to say something, but shuts up when the person next to him gives him a poke.
What happened?
Come on now, tell us what happened. We're all friends here.
The man who was going to speak the first time round looks over to his neighbour, who nods.
Two travellers spent the night here. One had a robe on, the other was a mercenary. The next day they left, all in a hurry. Said they'd been attacked by an elf.
One of the other drinkers finds his voice too.
There was a hell of a lot of noise that night. As if there'd been a dust-up.
They left some gold here for the trouble. I thought they meant the noise, but then I noticed the broken window.
The landlord sighs.
Please don't tell anyone else about this. Who will want to spend a night in a tavern where an elf has been sighted?
Show me what you have for sale. Let's see. Small elixir. Ooh. How much is it? 100. I don't think I have anything I want to sell. I would like one of these. Okay. Let's take... Can I put a number in? I don't know. I don't want to run out of provisions. 20. We'll buy 20 from them. 20 seems like a good number. Oh, okay. Confirm and continue. Let's get a room for the night.
We're tired and long for a proper bed.
Of course, gentlemen.
You spend a restful night in the tavern and then head off on your way again.
Is that orcs there?
There are dead orcs lying in the defensive trenches and strewn over the meadows in front of the city. Some of the locals are busy throwing the bodies on pyres, while others repair the minor damage done to the city wall.
Enter.
You enter the city and the garrison at its centre without being spoken to. It is only when you reach a heavy oak door that leads, you assume, to the commanding officer's headquarters, that you are halted by a guard.
Dwarves, eh? Seems we aren't to be spared anything these days. What do you want?
You've had dealings with the orcs too?
It looks like you've got an orc problem.
Had. Our scouts detected the army early on, and we were able to repel them without any great losses. A small army of orcs like that couldn't breach our mighty walls.
Your mighty walls look like they're about to collapse under their own weight.
The soldier isn't intimidated by Boindil. He juts his chin out confidently.
At least they stopped the orcs, unlike your dwarven walls in the north.
I didn't know that Steepleton was so big.
I didn't know that Steepleton was so big. Impressive place.
We have fertile meadows. That's what we have to thank for the city's growth in recent years. At the time of my grandparents, Steepleton was nothing more than the tower on a hill with a couple of houses. Now we have a market, a temple, and of course, there are royal messengers stationed in the tower, which doesn't do the city's coffers any harm at all.
I'd like to send a carrier pigeon.
You said you had messengers here. I'd like to send a carrier pigeon to Lot Yonan in Yonandar.
Lot Yonan in Yonandar. No problem. It will cost you 90 gold pieces.
Reliable carrier pigeon.
If the carrier pigeon delivers my message safely to Lot Yonan, then it's worth its weight in gold.
Then I'll send for a scribe. You can dictate your message and
Thank you, but I can write it myself. Paper and ink will be sufficient.
The guard nods. You don't blame him for thinking you are illiterate. Very few ordinary folk can read or write. Once you've been given the writing implements, you write down a summary of what happened at the meeting of the älfs and the orcs.
I'd like to speak to your commander.
I must speak with your commander.
Commander Valor doesn't have time. He's still very busy dealing with the aftermath of the orc attack.
I have information about the orcs.
Commander Valor is dealing with the orc problem, and I have important information concerning it. I witnessed a meeting of the orc lords.
The guard eyes you with interest and tries to judge whether you can be trusted. Finally, he stands up, opens a door, and enters the room ahead of you. The commander looks up from his work. The guard repeats what you told him.
Your information about the orcs could be useful. We have fought them back, but not yet defeated them. Come in.
The commander listens attentively, and now and then asks questions, as you tell him about the 3 orc armies and the meeting of the chieftains with the älfs Sintharas.
This sounds very grave. I will send out messengers. We must be prepared.
The orc army that attacked Steepleton was able to escape.
The orc army that attacked you was able to escape.
What was left of it? They headed south. Unfortunately, I can't send anyone after them until the damage to the wall is repaired.
The commander looks at you with a disgruntled expression. It suddenly seems clear to him who he has standing in front of him.
If you're interested, you could try and wipe out the mob that got away and collect the bounty.
Killing pig noses and getting paid for it? Where's the hedge?
You grin at Boindil, and then turn back to the commander.
We'll see what we can do. We must press on. Farewell, Commander Valor.
Kill as many orcs as you can, dwarves. Palandi will be with you.
All right. Well, looks like we've got a side diversion. Now let us continue on.
You see a camp with a wagon and 2 people on the edge of the path. Behind them, Black Saddle towers up above a thick, dark forest, about a half a day's journey away.
Let's go to the humans.
You don't want to give them a shock, so you address them while you're still a distance away.
Hello, friends. Is there any space by your fire?
The 2 traders look up and visibly jump when they see you 3 dwarves.
Ah, hello. Yes, of course.
It doesn't escape your attention that you seem to be causing the traders some uneasiness, but you take up their offer and sit down. The twins follow your example.
We're only travelers. We're looking for someone who's said to live on Black Saddle. A hermit.
Someone who lives here?
The traders exchange amazed looks.
If they live here, they must be mad.
Normally we wouldn't stop and rest here, but the horses are too exhausted. Our departure from Parista was delayed and we must have driven them too hard.
Why does Black Saddle make you feel uneasy?
Why does Black Saddle make you feel uneasy? It doesn't look particularly inviting, but it's only a mountain.
Only a mountain? You don't know the legend?
The trader looks at you and the twins for affirmation, but you all shake your heads.
Black Saddle was once known as Cloud Piercer, and it towered up into the heavens, the upper slopes of pure gold and the summit covered in snow. The humans wanted to attain this wealth, but the smooth slopes and the dazzling summit made the climb impossible. They called on the dwarves to help them.
They were able to tunnel up through Cloud Piercer to the top. They hollowed it out and carried away the gold. The humans demanded that the treasure be shared, but the dwarves refused, and as they argued, the mountain began to tremble. There were too many holes inside for it to hold together. It collapsed and buried both greedy parties underneath it. The mountain lost its tremendous size and its beauty, and ever since has haunted both humans and dwarves with its erosive hatred, causing even the rocks to turn black over time.
Pfft, never heard of it. Sounds like human
Tittle-tattle.
tittle-tattle. Dwarves would never hollow out a mountain so much that it collapses.
You come from Parista?
You come from Parista. How are things there?
No news to speak of, I'd say. Well, except for Nudin the Knowledge Lusty.
You know Nudin the Knowledge Lusty. Lot Yonan introduced him to you many years ago during a visit.
What about him?
Oh, nothing really. Just rumors.
You nod at the trader to continue.
He's behaving strangely and disappears into his tower for days on end.
Merely looks ill, apparently. Well, that's what someone I know said. Perhaps he got a spell wrong.
Perhaps. Let's see what you have for sale. I can spend all my money. Deals a bit more damage. Oh. I totally want another one of those. I mean, I could have bought more food. How much do we have? 56. Get another 20? Alright. We have like no money left. Let's set up camp.
Later in the night, after eating together and some friendly conversation by the campfire, you all decide to sleep. But you take the first watch. It's a night in which nothing happens, and the next morning the traders set off early. After breakfast, you also continue on your journey.
Let's see how he's doing. Alright, everybody's healed, so that's good. Okay, let's go back here for a second.
After a march through the thick pine forest, Black Saddle, the sinister tabletop mountain, and your journey's destination rises up before you.
Some attacks can stun enemies. If you attack a stun enemy. What will we find in Black Saddle?
Yes,
Oops.
according to Lot Yonan.
Although you try to put a lot of assurance into your voice, you too see no signs that anyone lives here.
No castle, no tunnel, no camp. There's nothing here but mountain.
Then we'll have to take a closer look.
You do that, scholar. We'll be waiting for you here.
You think about objecting, but it would just be a waste of breath.
Found anything?
No.
Does look like nothing, doesn't it? Let's look at the forest.
Even the dark evergreen forest seems to be afraid of the Black Mountain.
Found anything?
No.
So we look around. There's something over here. Looks like a cave or something right here. No? I thought it was a cave. Look at the crack.
I can only climb a little way here. There must be a better way.
Oh, wouldn't it be fine?
An old tree. Looks like it could fall down at any moment. There.
Okay.
Too steep. I can't get a grip anywhere. I should be able to get up here.
That was close.
I hope this is all worth it.
Look at the rock face.
There's something engraved on it.
You realize with surprise that they are runes in the Dwarven language.
I'll come back to that. I want to go over here. Why can't I go anywhere? I feel like I'm stuck right now.
Here's a... No, forget it.
Here's a... No, forget it.
Definitely...
A rock face.
A rock face. Built with the blood of our enemies, be unyielding as the rock, and soak the land in their blood. Huh?
Ooh. Hello. What the? I really don't want to step on any of those runes there. Oops. What is... This place is very big. Oh wait, look at the pool light.
Master Garen! Lot Yonan sent me to bring some items back to you. My inquiries are almost at an end. That means I can finally go to be with my sunshine. I have never been to Greenglade, but I think I will like it there. I deposited my most valuable things in the grave of Horengarth before my departure and secured it with magic. The password is...
You recognize the following words as rune names, but they're written in the learned language, so you don't know which they are.
Greenglade. Oh, great.
Take the lamp. No, maybe.
Useful. An eternal flame. I know who taught him that.
Corn's workspace. I think we already did that.
You see sketches and notes on the architectural features, statues and wall reliefs. It seems Garen spent a lot of time studying this place.
Maybe he's kind of a dwarf historian, or maybe he's just a treasure hunter.
We got Goran's workspace. What do we got here?
Hello? Is anyone there?
It's not creepy at all.
It looks as though Garen lived in the fortress for a while. It also seems that he left several lunar orbits ago.
I'll take some provisions with me.
He's not stealing. It would just be a shame if the provisions went off.
What's this? Light the brazier? Sure. Let's light the brazier. Can I go past here? There is a stairway. Will not let me go up there though. Ooh.
Thirdlings, the fortress belongs to the dwarf haters.
Look at the stone tablet.
Lorimber's dwarves are not only as unyielding as a mountain, they are also as destructive as an avalanche, and would batter into lesser kingdoms just as relentlessly. The Four should find no salvation in Vrachus, only eternal damnation, so that they suffer indescribable torment between the worlds.
You have heard of the dwarf haters, but this is the first time you have read their hateful words. You feel sick and turn away.
Okay. The dwarf haters. I can go up the stairs now. I feel naked without my companions. I do need to light the runes. Let's examine the stone slab.
Graves could be buried here.
I know I will have to light those up at some point, but I just don't know what order I will need to light them in. Perhaps... Can I light this brazier? No. Okay. Wait, what? I feel like I could have looked at something down there, but okay. Go down the stairs. Let's look at the statue.
Lorimber, the progenitor of the Thirdlings.
In most of the chronicles about the 5 dwarfen kingdoms, only very little is written about the Thirdlings, and what is written is full of disgust. They are called traitors,
oh, nice.
or worse. It would seem that even the Thirdlings worship Vrachus. But in all the other kingdoms, his shrine would be the biggest. Not the statue of the kingdom's progenitor. A couple of gold coins are in the bowl in front of the shrine.
Let's make an offering.
Can't do any harm.
Walk up the stairs. Look at the scribbles.
You have difficulty deciphering the scroll.
Throw the firstlings in the forge. Beat the secondlings to a pulp. The fourthlings are... The rest is illegible.
Can't do anything with this grave here.
Born of stone, forged in battle. Arise, reborn from the blood of the enemy.
You're not sure if you really want to know what was once in this basin. The whole place gives you the feeling that a decent dwarf shouldn't hang around too long.
Okay, so... I don't... Let's look at the sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus. Perhaps I could open it.
That was funny. Sorry. I just don't know which order to go in.
A rune. Clearly magical. Ah, that's it.
Let's see what happens now.
Garen's most valuable belongings. Letters from his lover, a silk scarf that must have belonged to her, and a medallion.
Take the medallion with you. Add it to inventory. Oh, let's check it out. Extra action point every 5 Oh, I like that. That's nice. Well, since he doesn't have one, we'll end up giving him one. One of the medallions. All right. So I think that's it. Well, I don't think there's anything else we can do here. I think we can just we can go now. Alright, so we made it to our goal, but the guy wasn't here, so I guess we're gonna have to head on our way to Everglade? Study, oh, Famulus. Greenglade, on account of love. So it looks like we might have to head north. So I'm going to wrap this episode up here. I hope you've been enjoying this look at the Dwarves. Until next time, Delgar out.